Amanda whispered into the phone, tears sliding down her face in the empty office. Outside, Lagos pressed its night against the glass. 8 weeks of preparation, her portfolio, her nerves, her best work, had come back to her in 4 automated lines. Oluchi's voice arrived like warm water. Amanda. Oh, Amanda. They don't know what they just threw away. I promise you, they don't know what they lost. Amanda almost smiled. Thank you. I just needed to hear your voice. She meant it completely. She did not know, could not have imagined, would not have survived knowing that the voice, comforting her, belonged to the same person who had made the call happen, that the hands wiping her tears had spent one quiet afternoon making sure those tears would fall. She had called her sister because her sister was her safe place. She did not yet understand that the danger had been living inside the safe place all along. Before the betrayal, there was a veranda. Every evening, in the family compound, their mother sat between her 2 daughters as the street outside settled into night. Amanda on her left, Oluchi on her right. She talked to them the way a woman talks when she knows time is not something anyone is owed. Mama Okafor was a seamstress. She read fabric the way other women read faces. She knew where a seam was weak, where it would tear, where it needed reinforcing before the pressure came. She read her daughters the same way. She saw what no one else saw, the flicker in Oluchi's eyes whenever Amanda was praised. Not hatred, something quieter, a small private deflation, like a candle in a room where someone had just switched on every light. She never scolded Oluchi for it. She never diminished Amanda to spare Oluchi's feelings. She did the harder thing. She sat between them and told the truth. You are not in competition, she said one evening. What belongs to one of you belongs to both of you. What hurts one of you hurts both of you. Promise me on everything I am to you, that nothing will ever come between this bond. Not a man, not money, not opportunity, because one day I will not be here to remind you. Both girls promised, meaning it completely, in the way people mean things, before life tests the meaning. Mama Okafor died of breast cancer when Amanda was 24. Their father followed 14 months later, a heart that simply ran out of reasons to keep pace. 2 funerals, in 14 months, left 2 daughters holding nothing but each other. For years, that was enough. Amanda became a UX designer, the person who decides whether an app makes you feel lost or found, capable or stupid. She had a gift for understanding people from the inside, for knowing what they needed before they could name it, and she built that gift into a quiet, respected career at a Lagos tech startup. She wasn't famous. People in the industry said her name with a particular kind of respect anyway. Oluchi was a digital marketer, brilliant in rooms, electric in pitches, able to walk into a conversation as a stranger and leave it as the person everyone remembered. She led campaigns that consistently outperformed expectations at a mid-tier agency, and her gift for making people feel seen was entirely, genuinely hers. They weren't the same. They were complementary. Still water and current, the architecture and the light inside it. Oluchi married Emeka on a Saturday in November. Amanda was chief bridesmaid. She planned the decor, quietly covered part of the ceremony costs without being asked, and gave a speech that made grown men cry. A year later, at 4 in the morning, Amanda was the first person, after Oluchi, to hold baby Obi. He has Papa's forehead, Amanda whispered. Don't tell Emeka that. Oluchi laughed, broken and grateful, and completely real. Amanda looked down at the baby. Papa's forehead, Mama's nose. All the people who lived on, in this small new face. I've got you, she told him. Not a promise anyone had asked for. Just a truth she couldn't help saying out loud. She meant it for Oluchi too. She always meant everything for Oluchi too. When money ran short during maternity leave, Amanda brought food in a way that never felt like charity. The phone rang once at 2:17 a.m. M, and Amanda answered on the second ring, because that was an agreement neither of them had ever spoken aloud, and both understood completely. Amanda. Just her name, but Amanda heard everything folded inside it. I'm here, she said. Not it's 2 a.m. Just, I'm here. He won't stop crying, Oluchi whispered. I don't know what I'm doing. You are doing it, Amanda said. Sitting with him at 2 a.m. When you're this tired, that is doing it. Emeka's traveling, Oluchi said, and the way she said it held everything she wasn't saying. I'm coming. She arrived 40 minutes later with jollof rice, fried plantain, and pepper soup Oluchi hadn't asked for, and needed more than she knew. She took the baby without ceremony and pointed at the bedroom door. Go and sleep. Go and sleep. One word, and Oluchi went. Amanda stood in that small living room, in the middle of the night, rocking her nephew, not thinking once about the sleep she was losing, or the morning she'd have to face anyway. She answered every time, without keeping score, because that's what safe places do. They hold you without charging you for the holding. Amanda was 30 when she found the fellowship, a prestigious, fully funded UX placement in London, 2 years long, salary in pounds, ending in a portfolio showcase, the industry considered career-defining. It was the one door of that size she had ever stood in front of. She spent 8 weeks preparing, nights after work, weekends gone. She read Oluchi sections of her personal statement over the phone. She sent her portfolio drafts and asked for notes. She was nervous, open, and completely, catastrophically trusting. Oluchi listened to all of it. She said all the right things, and underneath the genuine pride she felt for her sister, in a room of herself she had never properly cleaned out, something else was also moving. Her agency had just lost its biggest client. Her career felt stalled in a way that working harder couldn't fix. Emeka's income stretched less far with 2 children in the house. The future she'd imagined for herself felt like it was behind a door she couldn't. And then her sister described, in loving detail, exactly where that door was, and left the key on the table. Oluchi had Amanda's portal login, shared months earlier for some unrelated task. She knew the portfolio intimately. She'd watched it built for years. It didn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happened in increments, the way the worst moral failures always do. I just want to look. Let me see what the standard is. Then, Amanda is already talented. Other opportunities will come for her. They always do. This might be the only door this size I ever find. One application. She'll never know. On a day Amanda traveled up country for a family matter, a trip Oluchi had gently suggested she not delay, Oluchi opened the portal, withdrew Amanda's submission, and rebuilt it under her own name. Then she closed the laptop and went to give Obi his evening bath. She did not feel like a thief. She felt like a woman who had taken a chance. The rejection email arrived on a Thursday at 6:47 p.m., the office emptying around her. Lagos traffic, building its familiar chaos below the window. She'd been refreshing her inbox with the specific, obsessive frequency of someone waiting for news that could change everything. 4 lines, professionally worded, deeply impersonal, the kind of rejection clearly drafted to say nothing specific enough to say to everyone. After careful consideration of all applications received, we regret to inform you. She closed the laptop and sat with her hands flat on the desk, looking at nothing. 8 weeks. Every night. Her strongest work. A personal statement, rewritten 11 times until every sentence felt true. She had believed the work was good enough. That she was good enough. What is wrong with me? She called Oluchi. It rang twice. I didn't get it. A beat of silence. Then Oluchi's voice dropped its social warmth for something that sounded exactly like real concern. What? The fellowship? No, that's not right. Your portfolio, Amanda. Your work is... It doesn't matter, Amanda said. Steady in the way voices are steady, when someone is holding something very heavy, very carefully. It matters, Oluchi said. Because they're wrong. Whoever made that decision is wrong. They don't know what they just threw away. I promise you, they don't know what they lost. Every word landed exactly where it always landed. In the place that unwavering certainty had occupied since childhood. Thank you, Amanda said, something in her chest loosening slightly. I love you. You know that. I know. I love you too. She hung up, gathered her things, and walked out into the Lagos evening, carrying a rejection she believed was about her own ability. She did not know it was about her sister's fear. It would be another decade before she understood the difference. Every comforting word Oluchi spoke that night was true. Amanda was good enough. The committee didn't know what they'd lost. Other opportunities were possible. She said every true thing standing inside a lie she'd built that morning. That is the particular cruelty of betrayal by someone who loves you. The love is real, and the knife is also real, and you can't always tell which one is being handed to you. What London gave her, Oluchi got the fellowship. From London, everything opened. Global clients, international networks, a credibility she genuinely put to use. She was talented. That much was fair to say. The ladder was stolen, but what she built at the top of it drew on real skill. Within a year, she had a senior role at a London consultancy, a flat in Zone 2, and a visa process underway for Emeka and the children. Amanda, loyal and boundaryless, helped from the Nigeria end, receiving furniture into storage, managing the flat handover, driving Emeka and the children to the airport, holding little Dara until the very last moment before the security line. She drove home alone, made herself a quiet dinner, and told herself, this is what love looks like. The calls thinned out. Every 6 months, less frequent became occasional. Occasional became once a month. For once a month became Christmas and birthdays, if the time difference cooperated. Amanda told herself it was the adjustment, the new job, the children settling into school. She called anyway, left voice notes that sat unanswered for days. When Oluchi did call back, she was warm and familiar, as if no time had passed. And Amanda couldn't was all right-tailed hold on to her own grievance, because the sister she loved was still right there in the voice. But the calls kept getting shorter, and Amanda, from a self-protection she had no language for yet, was calling less too. Meanwhile, Emeka was unraveling in the slow, private way proud men unravel when the world stops confirming who they think they are. His experience didn't transfer cleanly into the UK market. He took a role well below his old one. In Lagos, he'd been a professional. In London, he was his wife's husband. The men around him, traditional, unsparing in their own quiet way, never let him forget it. He found, as such men find, a place where the wound stopped hurting. A woman who needed him, who asked his opinion, who let small things he paid for feel large. Then a second woman, then money redirected, small amounts first, then amounts that touched the mortgage, a car, jewelry, a standing order Oluchi hadn't authorized. She found it on a Tuesday, a bank notification, a transfer she didn't recognize, large enough to affect the mortgage. She didn't call the bank first. She sat at the kitchen table with her laptop open and waited. He came home to a stillness he understood immediately. You're home early, he said. Sit down, Emeka. He sat. She turned the laptop to face him. The transfer, the unfamiliar account, highlighted with the deliberate calm of a woman who'd had time to decide exactly how to present it. Explain this to me. From the beginning. The refrigerator hummed. A car passed outside. It was a debt, he said finally. Something private. What debt, Emeka? It's complicated. I have time. He looked at the table, running the calculations of a cornered man. What she could prove. What truth was the minimum he could offer, and still leave the room intact. There's someone, he said quietly. Someone? It didn't mean. Is there more than one someone? He didn't answer fast enough. Both times, she said, like she was setting something down she'd never pick up again. He reached for her hands. She moved them to her lap first. Oluchi, listen to me. You built everything here. Your name is on the flat. The accounts, the career. I'm just living in your life. I stopped feeling like your husband. I felt like something you kept in the house. So I went somewhere I could feel like a man. You do not get to spend my money on other women, she said, voice rising, and then explain it to me, using my own ambition as the reason. You don't get to do both. He opened his mouth to answer. She cut him off. Before you say another true thing, wrapped inside a lie, I see exactly what you're doing, and it will not end well for you. Silence. Calculating silence. Then he played the card he'd been keeping for years. Before you sit there judging me, he said, ask your sister what happened to her fellowship application. Ask Amanda whether she ever actually submitted it. Oluchi went completely still. I came home early that day, he said. I saw what you did on the laptop. I kept it, because you were my wife. But don't sit there like a woman without secrets. We can both destroy each other. He walked to the bedroom. The door didn't slam. It closed quietly. That was worse. 3 weeks later, Emeka sent it. Not to Amanda first, but into a WhatsApp group of mutual friends from their Lagos years. People who'd been at the wedding. People who knew both sisters. It named the fellowship. It named the year. It included a screenshot he'd taken that evening. The portal opened. Oluchi's name where Amanda's had been. Within 3 hours, Amanda had received 12 forwarded copies. She read it once, set her phone face down, and sat very still for long enough that a colleague came to check on her. She wasn't all right, but underneath the shock was something she recognized. Something she'd carried for a decade without a name for it. The rejection that never quite made sense. The gap between where her peers had reached and where she'd stayed. The question she'd asked herself in too many quiet rooms. What is wrong with me? Now she knew. Nothing had ever been wrong with her. Oluchi called within the hour, already crying. Amanda, please, listen to me. I'm listening, Amanda said. Her calm was the most frightening thing Oluchi had ever heard from her. Oluchi told her everything. The portal, the justification she'd built for herself, the certainty that other opportunities would come for Amanda, the guilt she'd never fully silenced and had learned to live beneath anyway. She told it without editing, because the time for editing was gone. Amanda listened without interrupting. When Oluchi finished, the silence between them held everything 12 years of sisterhood had built, and everything the last 10 had quietly taken apart. Do you know what that rejection did to me? Amanda said finally. Not just the career. Do you know how many opportunities I never applied for afterward, because I told myself I wasn't at that level? You didn't just take a fellowship, Oluchi. You took the version of myself I was supposed to become. Oluchi was crying too hard to speak. Mama sat between us on that veranda, Amanda said. She made us promise. You looked her in the face, and you promised. And you did it anyway. Silence. She was right to be afraid, Amanda said. She saw it coming, and couldn't stop it. Neither could I. That was the last thing she said. She hung up, not in anger, in grief. The fallout for Oluchi was steady and real. Her career in London struggled to hold together, but it was the diaspora networks, the wedding guests, the people who'd known both sisters, where the story truly landed and stayed. Her name was attached to it now, permanently. The marriage ended the way marriages end, when trust and money run out at the same time. Emeka kept half of what they'd built and left her the children. She still had her career, still had the life she'd first built on a stolen foundation, but she felt the weight of every brick in it now. Amanda filed no legal case. She did something quieter. She went to the fellowship organization directly, presented the evidence, and asked for nothing but a record that her submission had been original, that she had been good enough, that the rejection had never been a verdict on her. Months later, a careful, limited letter arrived, naming her. She put it in her dress drawer, not on the wall, something to look at privately, when she needed to remember who she'd always been. Her career moved differently after that. A UX consultancy in Amsterdam, one that had quietly followed her work for years, offered her a contract at the level she'd always been capable of, not out of sympathy, but because her portfolio had always been that good. She had always been that good. The truth had simply removed the last thing standing between her talent and where it belonged. She was 40 when the contract began, 10 years late, but finally on ground that was entirely hers. 6 months after the phone call, a letter arrived from London, handwritten, 4 pages, asking for nothing, bargaining for nothing, just the truth, written plainly by someone who had finally stopped running from herself. It ended. I remembered what Mama said. I remembered her face on that veranda. I remembered it when I opened the portal, and I remembered it when I submitted the application. And I did it anyway. You were never less than me, Amanda. You were always the one I was trying to become. I just never knew how to live in the same world as that truth. Amanda read it 3 times and put it in the drawer beside the fellowship letter. She called Oluchi 3 weeks later. I forgive you completely, she said. But it changes nothing about us. There's no us anymore, not the way there was. You were my safe place. I can forgive you for taking that from me. I can't rebuild it. Some things, when they break, the crack is the whole structure. A long silence. I know, Oluchi said, the words strangled by tears. It was the last time they spoke for a long, long while.